For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care. rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
Hello and welcome to Without Bias, Bowls Australia's official show here on 1116 SEN, your home of sport. Our first show of 2025. Val Febbo here with you and looking forward to the newest season. It's going to be wonderful. We've got a big few weeks coming up with the Australian Open just around the corner in June. And of course, the show for Right at Home Australia, the Right Care, Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. And well, with the AO coming up, I thought it'd be a good idea to bring on the two reigning singles champions. Aron Sherriff is joining me later on in the show to chat about his chances on a fourth consecutive men's singles title, which would be unbelievable. But the defending women's singles champion is Lara Butler from Western Australia, and she joins me on the line now. Lara, welcome to the show.
Hi, Val. Thanks for having me.
It's been a whirlwind year for you, winning the Australian Open, and then you won it while pregnant in 2024, which was quite unbelievable. But how excited are you to get back to the Gold Coast?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back and catch up with everyone, get to play with Olivia, Chloe and Rebecca Lord in the fours. So I'm really excited to catch up with them and everyone else that's going. There's a huge WA contingent going as well this year, which is great. And the Gold Coast is such a great place, so I really can't wait.
You pretty much bypassed the fact that, you were excited to defend the singles title again there. I know you mentioned the fours, which we will get to. You are very humble, but I am going to bring up the conquest that was 2024. But a lot has changed since you won last year, I should say. How is motherhood treating you?
Yeah, it's great. It's very different, but I guess my experience having been a nanny before gave me a little bit of a head start with just the day-to-day things that you do with kids and what needs to happen. But the sleepless nights in the early days definitely got me. But we're very lucky. He's a really good kid and he's pretty easy. So it's been a good transition and just a different way of life now.
Certainly, and you'll be travelling with Tyson to the Australian Open, and you and Blake both are drawn on the same day. So what are the logistics going to look like in terms of the babysitting?
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky with my mum and my stepdad coming over as well, so they're going to be helping out. In the first week, we've just got one day overlapping, so it's not too bad. But the second week, hopefully, if we can do well and both get through in a couple of events, would be really good. And it's nice to know that we've got that extra support.
And you must be hoping, I guess, that your parents are on deck for a lot of babysitting, because that means the two of you will be featuring very prominently in the back end of the tournament.
Yeah, I thought, you know what, better to have them there than not and be able to just focus on what we're there to do. And if we can do well, it'll be a really good trip. And if we don't do well, we've got some extra days to have some family time. So I'm pretty happy either way.
Exactly right. Lara Butler joining me, reigning women's singles champion at the Australian Open. And how fun will it be travelling with Tyson? Because obviously, this is something very new. He's still little, but have you done the plane trip with him yet, or will this be his first?
Yeah, this will be his first. So I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully between the four of us we'll manage, and it's just the one flight. So there's no transferring, and I think it'll be pretty good. Like I said, he's a pretty easy kid, so he should be okay.
That's great. And last year you won the singles title, which was one of the most unbelievable stories. I think you and Alan Fife winning the women's singles and pairs while pregnant. I think that was probably the one of the biggest narratives throughout the Australian Open last year. But how fondly do you recall your journey from the tournament? And, it's still one of the most epic performances that I've seen since being involved in the sport, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Val. I just felt really privileged to be there in the first place, and I guess because I had no expectations going in, that I think that I didn't put any pressure on myself, which probably really helped. And the more I played, the more rhythm I got. And I think because it was still early days in the pregnancy, being 5 months, I still felt pretty energized, and it was just like a nice little bonus and something exciting that was happening for me personally and in bowls, and to be able to do those two things at the same time and come away with a win like that is absolutely wild to me. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it now.
How many times have you watched it?
I think only once.
Really?
Yeah, and people mention to me sometimes like, oh, I remember this end or this end, and I have very little memory of the game itself, but I just remember like the emotions and the feelings around it were really, really special.
You should go watch it again because it was a very good match.
I might do that if I have a bit of spare time.
Yeah, no, would recommend. Maybe when Tyson's down for a nap, just chuck it on YouTube and it'll all be there, don't worry. BA's YouTube channel, that's for sure. It's all up there, so you can watch every single bowl of yours at that event. But now, what has your schedule looked like since Tyson came into the world? Has it changed much in terms of bowls, and what's it been like for you on the green?
Yeah, I missed the first half of our pennant season. It goes for 18 weeks, and I came back at the start of February and played a few games in the new open gender competition, which was really good. But I think it took me a bit of time to adjust my expectations of myself because I wasn't able to get out and practice as much as I used to. And even when I was practicing, Tyson would be coming along as well and be a bit distracting. So it's just taken a bit of time to find a new way to enjoy bowls, even if I'm not playing well, and just taking off some of that pressure and it not being as results-based. And when I get out there and I do enjoy it, I do play better, and, yeah, it's back to how I love playing bowls.
So in terms of that sort of stuff, what expectations have you set yourself for the Australian Open? Obviously, there's very lofty heights to try and replicate. So, what are you looking to try and achieve? Obviously, yes, you want to go out there and win the whole thing, but what are the expectations that you've said, okay, this is what I want to achieve. If I get here, I'll be happy, considering the lack of bowls that you've had since giving birth?
So first and foremost, I want to enjoy it. That to me is the most important thing. Once I'm playing bowls and I'm not enjoying it anymore, for me, there's no point playing. So I think I want to go out there and enjoy it. If we can get through the section in each of the events, for me, that's already a great start. That gives me an extra day of bowls in the second week, and just go out there and have fun, to be honest. And if the results do go my way, then I will be more than pleased. But I am very, very competitive, so I won't be rolling over for anyone.
Well, the Gold Coast has been a very happy hunting ground for you because you've made, the semi-final in the singles in 2023, you won the fours in 2023, and then you won the singles last year, as well as making the World Championship singles quarterfinals in 2023. So what is it about the greens on the Gold Coast that you enjoy so much?
Oh, that's a really good question because they vary so much. But I guess it speaks to my game style that I can change depending on what green I'm playing on. And the Gold Coast has great greens, whether they're a bit slower, a bit quicker, whether it's carpet or synthetic. All the greens are really good. And I don't know what it is that I enjoy so much about playing there. But, yeah, like you said, the results kind of speak for themselves.
They certainly do. So you'll be in the fours with pretty much a very similar team that won a couple of years ago. And then you move to the pairs. Who are you playing with in the pairs? With
Olivia Cartwright. We played together the last 2 years and we really enjoyed playing together. So we thought we'd give it another crack.
Very nice. She's great, Liv. And she's going from strength to strength as well, having a lot of international experience on her own. So playing very well. But the Gold Coast now, you're travelling up as a family with Blake, Tyson, and the folks as well. So what are some of your favourite things to do when the AO is on?
Well, last year I didn't get time to do any of the things I wanted to do. Not that I'm complaining, but this year I'd really love to go to Australia Zoo and Mount Tambourine and to play top golf, and just a couple of fun activities with the family will be really great.
Top golf is unreal, even for someone that is horrendous at golf. I quite enjoyed myself.
I'm also horrendous at golf, so I'll be having a good laugh at myself.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. Just, try not to shank one into the lane next to you like I almost did and almost took out a small child. So, that was probably the end of my night after that. But, we digress anyway. The AO, 10 years on the Gold Coast. You get to head there each year to play in this wonderful event. What is it about, and you said there are a lot of things that you love to do on the Gold Coast, what is it about that event or that area and that city that just makes you love heading there in June every year? Is it the weather? Is it the amount of people that go for the tournament? Why is the AO on the Gold Coast so good?
Yeah, I think the weather definitely plays a huge part, and just the atmosphere on the Gold Coast. It has such a holiday vibe to it. And everyone convening it from bowls in one place, having such a huge cohort from all around the country is just fantastic. And I just love meeting all the new people every year, and everyone's got a different story about why they're there, how they got there, and what they're planning to do. So I think the Gold Coast is a fantastic area, and I absolutely love it.
Amazing. Well, Lara Butler, we'll see you on the Gold Coast. Very excited to see how that title defence goes and to meet little Tyson as well. Looking forward to seeing you in action on the beautiful greens in Queensland. Thank you so much for being our first guest on Without Bias in 2025.
Thanks so much, Val. Really appreciate it, and can't wait to catch up with you on the Gold Coast.
Lara Butler joining me, reigning women's singles champion at the Australian Open. Her title defence will kick off next month, June 7 to 20 on the Gold Coast. Make sure you are up there. But up next on Without Bias, it is the three-time defending men's singles champion at the Australian Open, Aron Sherriff. He's going to join me right after this.
For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care, rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
You're listening to Without Bias here on 1116 SEN, your home of sport. Val Febbo here with you for Right at Home, the Right Care Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. Visit rightathome.com.au. Big thank you to Lara Butler for joining us in the last segment, talking about the title defence of the women's singles, but a man who is looking to go on and win 4 men's singles titles in a row is Aron Sherriff, and he joins me on the line. Omar, welcome to the show. How are things up there in Queensland? It's been not so sunny, but this week's starting to look a bit better.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Val. But we've had a pretty wild, 6 months this year. So we've had over 1.5 meters of rain. We've had a cyclone. We've had not a lot of blue skies and not a lot of warm weather like we used to up here in Queensland. But hoping that that's all behind us and we get a nice month from now till the end of the AO.
Well, it generally is very sunny during the Australian Open, and I think the last couple of years, I don't reckon I've even seen a cloud being up there on the Gold Coast. How excited are you for a massive event coming up?
Yeah, no, obviously the AO is one of the biggest carnivals of the year, so looking forward to getting back into it and seeing old friends and having a crack, and hopefully you can defend a singles title and maybe win 1 or 2 more.
You're bidding for 4 straight singles titles. Does that blow you away at all?
Oh, of course. I mean, you've only got to look at what I think it's 1,200 entries we start at, so you've got to win 3 sectional games every year. So even winning last 3 years doesn't really help me at all, because I go straight back into the sectional play like everybody else. So you start from square one, and I think it's about a 33 or 34 game run I'm on at the moment. So to win 3 in a row is amazing. I mean, to win an Australian Open is obviously a mean feat, but to have 3 in a row and 6 in my back pocket now is it's pretty pleasing.
Well, it's over 1,200 days since your last singles loss at the Australian Open. That was at the 2021 event in the semi-finals to Aaron Wilson. So it's unbelievable. Like the enormity of what you've achieved. Does that feel real, considering you've overcome more than 1,200 other men in each draw? I think last year even got to 1,300. Look, obviously, it's pretty amazing, but
I suppose, having it here on our home greens and having that support and being able to go home and sleep in my own bed each night and prepare correctly has obviously paid off. I remember coming up back in the day when it first started and I wasn't living on the Gold Coast. It was obviously, have a little bit of fun and some party time and things like that. So now that I've got, the young family and I'm chilling at home each night, it's obviously made it a little bit more achievable. Sorry, to win those singles. But I suppose it's pretty crazy. To think that it's 1,200 days and so many games and with such great fields. I think it's pretty special in my resume for sure.
And what does the preparation look like for you in the lead up?
Yeah, so having a little break at the moment. Got to keep my eye in with the Platinum Pennant down in New South Wales. But probably sort of get into a little bit of individualised training for myself at Broadbeach, just based around singles more so than anything. And then obviously we've got the big week in the lead up to that where we've got our Blue Diamond pairs and Matador fours at Broady as well. So we'll get probably 14 pretty intense competition matches in those two tournaments, which will be pretty much the perfect lead up and that hard match play type setup that I like to get involved in before I go into a major event. So it's all shaping up pretty well.
And those fields are generally very hotly contested. We've seen there's an abundance of jackaroos that generally play in those pairs and the Matador Fours event beforehand. So you said that match hard or those really hard contested battles. How much do they help you in terms of getting your mind into gear? I know you said that's what you like to do, but what exactly do they do for you mentally and physically when you're playing?
Yeah, so I guess I've been playing bowls for pushing on 30 years now. So, I know that I've put in the hours and the time and the deliveries and everything like that. I've done all that sort of stuff. I know it's there. So, all I need is just to really get into competition mode. So, so I like to have the break because I know it's going to be pretty hectic. Just 14 games alone in the lead up to the AO before you even start. It's quite a hectic campaign. So, just I suppose get the body and mind right, and then those sort of games, it just gets that competitive juices flowing. And if there are any sort of deficiencies or anything that you can identify in technique and whatnot, you can use those events to iron those sorts of things out, and even to try some new things. So I think it's just getting that, I suppose, game mind going and get those competitive juices flowing. It's obviously been a great prep for me for the last few years, so looking forward to getting into it again.
Aron Sherriff joining me on Without Bias. Really looking forward to seeing him in action as he looks to defend the Australian Open for the fourth successive time. It's quite unbelievable in the men's singles, but you've also had a lot of success in other events as well, Omar. Will you be playing pairs and fours as well?
Yeah, so TG and I are having a crack in the pairs again. It was a bit disappointing campaign last year. Not going out in the first round, but TG's similar to me, having a little bit of time off at the moment, recharging the batteries, and he's been playing incredibly well throughout this year. So looking forward to teaming up with him again, and the fours we're the same combo again. So we won it 2 years ago with Barry, Corey, Teasy, and myself. So we'll be lining up again this year to have another crack at the fours.
Very exciting. And, the AO has become so synonymous with the Gold Coast. Why has the city been such a great host for the event for now 10 years, which is quite unbelievable that it's just found its home and it just sits there so comfortably?
It was a multitude of things. I mean, obviously it's a holiday destination. So while there is a little bit of downtime in the first week or so with the sectional play of the AO, you can there's plenty of things you can do here. You've got the beaches, you've got the mountains, Mount Tambourine, the hinterland, and you've got theme parks and beautiful restaurants and waterways and all that sort of stuff. So there's so much that you can do to get away from the bowls clubs and have a bit of a holiday as well. And I guess the weather up until this point's been pretty amazing. So, we get a lot of Southerners and obviously New Zealand people coming over to the warmer weather. And yeah, it's just, I suppose, it's a perfect location because we've got so many clubs that are sort of fairly close to one another. So there's not a huge amount of travelling. Obviously, if you're a bit unlucky and you get Coolangatta and Beenleigh or something like that, well, there is a little bit of travel, but for the most part, a lot of the clubs are really close to the hub there at Broadbeach.
They certainly are, and looking forward to getting up there. June 7 is when it all starts at the Australian Open on the Gold Coast. Looking forward to seeing you in action, Aron Sherriff, and good luck with the preparation and everything. We'll catch you up there on the at the Australian Open. Thanks heaps for joining me on Without Bias.
No worries, Val. We'll see you all when you get here. Cheers.
Three-time defending singles champion at the Australian Open, Aron Sherriff, joining me on Without Bias. Good luck to him as he goes for 4 in a row. Same with Lara Butler. She goes to go back to back. June 7 to 20 on the Gold Coast. Please make sure you get up to the AO. It is a great event. It is wonderful. So looking forward to seeing everybody up there. But from me, Val Febbo, it's a good night, and we'll catch you next week on Without Bias for Right at Home, the Right Care Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider, and for personalised, private, no waiting in-home care, rightathome.com.au. It's fantastic what they do. But right here on 11:16 SEN, 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. I'll see you then.